We're live.
All right, carry on, sir. Okay, well, welcome everybody here to our council meeting on January the 13th, the first one for 2021. Tonight around the table, we have Town Clerk Joanne Perry, Town Manager Sandy Collins, Councilor Jess Paul. Councilor Gerald Perry is not here this evening, he's sick. Councilor Chantel Lynch, Councilor Richard Kelly, Councilor Craig Arnold, and Deputy Mayor David Saunders, and myself, Mayor Doug Sherman. So we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the minutes of the regular council meeting held on December 16, 2020. Second, Craig Arnold, Richard Kelly, and Craig Arnold. All in favor? Everybody? Is there anything arising from those minutes? From the last three little before. Number 13, Town Manager, the visit to Clarenville. We said we'd look at that, I think, tonight or talk about it tonight. So we need to just set a date. Does any?
Yeah, give me a couple dates perhaps, and I can get home Lloyd, and he can then work with the others in Clarenville. Probably set up time.
Okay. Who did we say was on that committee? Do you remember? I don't quite remember. Does anybody around the table remember?
Was it not Public Works?
Was it Public Works, I think, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. We were looking at the fire hall there, so. Craig and Richard and Gerald. Is it any particular, Craig, for you? I think it's going to be an afternoon or a morning for sure, isn't it?
Yes.
Any particular day or day that you'd like to avoid?
Tuesday and Thursday. Friday and Mondays.
Friday and Mondays.
Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, next Wednesday's no good for me, but other than that, next week would be fine.
Okay, and given if there is an election call, are we still, if everyone else is still willing, are we still, I guess, makes no difference to us?
Not really.
If he's able to accommodate us?
Yeah. So we'll leave that to you to set up then. Anything else arising?
Number 2. We're supposed to have community after the others.
Right. Request.
There has been a committee formed.
I think so.
Yeah. No idea.
The town clerk is on the look now.
If not, what I will do is, we have it written down on our list of committees. I will make contact with the chair, if there was one selected, and have a time set up. Unless you want to tentatively set a time that suits everyone now.
Do you want to do it on and off Wednesday evening? No, Chantel is working. And
Yeah. So how, next Wednesday?
next Wednesday evening, 7? Try for that. 7:30?
I'll go back to the minutes or my
Yeah,
list.
make sure.
Yeah.
No, well, she'll check to make sure
I'll find
everybody is
out from my
contacted.
Yeah, there was.
There was in number 14, there's a Public Works Committee meeting to be held early in the new year. Perhaps we should have set a date for that as well.
Yeah, there's a couple things that we need to look at. I think Public Works, so a date. This particular one would be best as it is out there now, not a whole lot of snow on the ground, so we can actually see what we're doing or what we're looking at. So, yeah, I guess I'll leave it up to you to decide.
And also add to that is too that one about source when I got out today.
That's right, yeah.
Probably have a look at that too while we're down there.
Definitely.
What was that? So
Some sewer going in ditch
there
down.
was a smell or something. Do you got any particular preference in time, Mr. Chair?
Better for 1 o'clock. Better time for 1 o'clock.
Okay, so we try 1 o'clock. What day?
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Okay. 1 o'clock on Tuesday. Anything else arising? Oh, on number 17, there was a lands committee meeting. And who's chair of that one? Deputy Mayor Saunders. Did you want to set a time for the lands committee meeting? You want to do it at 2 o'clock next Tuesday?
No, I'm gonna be in Gander.
Okay.
Got Dr. Spentman again.
All right.
So is that a letter, request come in from, Mr. James for that?
Yes, it was. It's a couple of times now we've been talking about the same one.
Was the request table or just?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Say 2 weeks on Tuesday?
The following Tuesday?
Yeah. Good time.
Okay.
So the 19th?
No.
No,
No.
January
26th.
26th. January 26th.
Mm.
All right. Try
What
that
time
one.
did you want to meet? Do you want an evening meeting, like 7:30?
7:30, yeah.
We really need to go down and see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's going to have to be earlier,
Yeah,
perhaps,
yeah.
in the afternoon, perhaps.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right.
1 o'clock?
I'll say 1.
25.
We'll touch base anyway.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
All right then. And of course, there's a couple of references there, I think in number 20 and 24 to the Heritage Committee, and I believe Economic Development now is in the process of setting that up, so for next week. So we'll have that in place as well. Is there anything else arising from those minutes? Okay, well, we moved into the next set of minutes, which is the Finance Committee meeting on January the 7th at 7 p.m. We need a motion to adopt, please. Okay, Councillor Kelly and Councillor Arnold, and Councillor Paul. All in favor? Everybody. Okay, there's, I'll just, probably because this hasn't been brought up at a meeting, I'll go through the information in the minutes. The meeting was called to finalize the 2021 budget. It was moved by Mayor Churchill and seconded by Councillor Lynch that the Finance Committee approved the following. First one is that the 2021 existing tax rates remain the same with the exception of the mill rate for all financial institutions changed to 150 mil. The following be budgeted as capital expenses for revenue, and the Terranova Trail Riders $2,000, Glovertown Fire and Rescue $4,000, Recreation $4,000, COVID-19 stimulus program, this is our 10%, $13,401, and the consultant study for the community market, our 10% again, $12,243 for a total of $35,644. So these additions, of course, as you see at the bottom there, balance the budget at $2,189,326. So we need a motion to adopt the budget at that figure. Moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Deputy Mayor. Any discussion? Remember, we did see all the figures, but we don't have them here. We did see them all the other evening, of course, at Finance Committee meeting. Any discussion or any questions? Ready for the question? All in favor? It's everybody. Okay, thank you. We move to the council meeting of January the 8th at 11 p.m. This was a council meeting to discuss the request from Glovertown, Glovertown area Minoraki, dated January the 5th, seeking permission to apply for and hold a tournament this season. Need a motion to accept the minutes, please. Adopt the minutes.
Move.
Okay, moved by Craig, second by Councillor Kelly. All in favor? And the recommendation is the approval is conditional to all tournaments consisting of no more than 4 teams total, with an 8 a.m. start time and a 45-minute break between the games. The council reserves the right to cancel any tournaments due to COVID-19 concerns or restrictions. These cancellations will be communicated to the arena manager and Glovertown minor hockey executive at the earliest opportunity. So that was all voted, of course, at the council meeting, and that is the recommendation, of course. Just for the sake of the minutes, I guess, going into the public domain. The next item is the Public Works Committee meeting this afternoon, January 13th at 4 p.m. Motion to adopt the minutes, please. Moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Councillor Arnold. All in favor? Everybody. And the first recommendation relates to a meeting requested by an engineer to discuss our upcoming paving project in the summer of 2021 prior to the call of tenders. The recommendation is to proceed with the tender, which would include asphalt work in Glovertown, Gambo, and Eastport. By combining the work, it should attract more competitive bids as a result of more bidders. It may also result in savings in the administration and inspection. So that's the recommendation that was made by the Public Works Committee. I guess the chairman of the committee, Councillor Kelly, has made that motion. We need to have a seconder, Councillor Arnold. Any discussion?
Are we still on number one or?
Number one. Okay. So we're going to get the work done in conjunction with the other two communities, be three of us all together.
Just one tender.
Yes, just the one tender. Ready for the question? All in favor? Is everybody? And the second item is the Public Works has requested, that's the town's Public Works has requested the town purchase a gas hot water pressure washer, better known as a steam jenny, in order to assist with the clearing of the intake at the northwest pond due to freezing. The machine and all those associated knowledge is going to cost us about $4,663.21, taxes included. And the recommendation is that we purchase this machine with the cost being absorbed under existing budget items related to our water system and its maintenance and repair. So you wouldn't need an extra budget item for that. It's already included.
Question, Mr. Mayor, has this been tried before anywhere else? Because we just spent $260,000 on that there, and nothing didn't work. And another $4,000 here, maybe another $40,000 next week.
This is not 40,000.
4,000.
This is 4,000, yeah.
I mean, we keep, grasping at straws, and we're spending money like $360,000 just went down the drain, nothing happened. And now we got another $4,000 left. My only question is, has this been tried before, and will it work?
Yeah, try it.
Yeah, there's actually, so I've been speaking to our public works staff about this, and they came up with this idea and explained it to me and how it would work. Since that time, our supervisor of public works has actually looked at a municipality in Northern Ontario, which has a steam jenny and a skid platform that they keep in their public works truck all winter long, and that's used specifically for keeping lines clear where it comes to municipal water intakes. So it is being used there. It's successful. It seems to work. Again, I'm unsure to say it's 100% sure to work, but I think it's worth a try based on the fact that the last water freeze up that we had just a couple of weeks ago, when you take into account the overtime spent with the number of extra staff going in on a weekend and whatnot, it doesn't take very long to add up to these type numbers. So I think it would be prudent to look at spending $4,600, and if that's successful in clearing the lines, I think we'd be quickly money in.
Yeah, and a couple of things in relation to that too, Councillor Paul. The steam jenny does not necessarily be devoted to this all the time. This is, one of the things that they could use. Well, they did have one now, but it's fallen to pieces.
Is this to use by a diver or
No,
town workers to use it?
Yes, it would be.
So eliminating cost of the diver, you're saying?
Well, if this works, but absolutely.
So if you could recover the cost of the diver, will you recover the cost of the steam jenny from what you save from the diver? Is that what you're saying?
That would be the hope. Yes. And not only that, people will get
one. The only question is, like I said, we spent all the money before.
Yeah,
we're grasping at straws here.
I don't know if it's fair to say that what we did before hasn't worked. It hasn't given us 100%. Whether we have fewer freeze ups now than we had before, I think is the point right. And There are years when we don't have it at all, but there are some years when we do have it.
Well, we haven't had much of a winter yet, we already have one.
We have indeed, and it was really a surprise, I think, to everybody that it happened this time. Anyway,
I move that we purchase Eagle.
move is made and second by Councillor Lynch. Any further discussion?
And the other thing about the things that they will be using this dignity too for clean dirt.
Yes, yes, it's not just for this purpose, no. It's for-
Not only for the purpose of these for the bath.
Ready for the question? All in favor? Is everybody? All right, that brings us down to deferred business.
Clearly that, request, I don't know what you bring up or bring up.
At your, when it goes round table for you. Yeah. The first one is the municipal plan amendment for Clay Cove and Sweet Apple Cures. We're still waiting, of course, nothing new. The old timers, we've talked about that, and we've got the committee set up, and we will have a meeting soon. The zone change request for tower question, I guess that's working its way through the system. The RV dumping station, spring 2021, I guess we're still waiting to hear back from the private operator who's working to do something similar to that, so we're not ready for that yet. Excuse me, the House of Diamonds cleaning, there's been nothing going on there yet, so obviously there's nothing that we need to talk about, I don't think. Review policies for the subdivision extension to existing roads, water and sewer, etc. We were going to look at having a new policy, I think, in place, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. And we haven't done anything with that, but it's something that we will need to look at, I guess. Shortly, we have several meetings and we go preferably that for the time being. The lookout on Brides Hill and KDMP is one that we were going to transfer to the Heritage Committee, I think, to have a look at. So we'll leave it till they come back with it.
And also around the conversation about the renaming of the stadium.
And the stadium.
Person.
Yeah, okay. Future Street Land from Kevin James, that's one that we've got a committee looking at now. Information sheet on our historic preservation pays in is going to go as well to the Heritage Committee. C212, the Canadian Pharmacare Act, we were waiting for information on that. Did you get anything back on that?
Yeah, so this issue obviously is very politicized. This is being raised by the NDP looking to put in universal pharmacare. So just as an aside, Canada is the only country with a public health care system that doesn't have universal pharmacare. So that's kind of their angle. So obviously it's something that happens in other countries that have public health care, such as Canada. As for the dollars, now these are the numbers that I was able to gather. And again, where this is politicized, I don't know if these numbers are inflated or they're deflated, but these are numbers that I can come up with. In the first year for this program, it would cost $3.5 billion and grow to approximately $15 billion annually by 2027. So it's obviously a huge expense, no different than the healthcare system, but that's what you're dealing with. So I don't know how council feels about that.
So that would be $15 billion in addition to what we're paying now?
This is to provide free medication, basically, so your prescriptions. Universal pharmacare.
And I think they were asking for a letter of support to have it in place.
Right.
There was no talk in terms of costs. I don't know how everybody feels about it. It's a lot of money.
Money that we haven't got.
Yeah.
Well, that contribution from the town be?
No. This was just to support
Okay.
federal government
This bill.
policy. It's a bill that they were going to introduce that would produce that kind of program, right? Everybody feel that maybe we should leave it for the time being?
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor? Yeah, I think it's a bit too much to expect us to really talk about it without a lot more information and detail, especially where it is political. And the last item is the Glovertown Academy outdoor classroom request to have some grubbing and so on done. I guess that's up to the public works. Just put on there to remind them.
That can actually come off the agenda.
Yeah, that's been
now.
dealt with,
That's been
yeah.
dealt with.
It's already been done?
And Mr. Hogan has been made aware. So.
Oh, perfect. So that can come
We'll
off there.
remove that one.
Perfect. All right, the next item is permits in Crown Land, and there's an application to operate a business by Urban Rideout for income tax purposes. So, everybody's got a copy in their package.
What is already doing?
Same spot.
Listen, who was talking to, was it?
It's the same location, Mr. Mayor, I'll speak to that.
Yes, sure.
Irvin is operating, his actual business office is located in Gander, although he did take documents at his home and work from there as well, so there's always been a sign. Oh, but he wants to work from home now and have his full time business going on there. So it is discretionary, but considering, as it says in the application here, that this has been happening up there for the last number of years, we shouldn't have to advertise. But we could if we wanted, but I don't feel it's necessary for the business that it is. And he just wouldn't need a permit to operate. And of course, he would pay business tax accordingly.
The request, I guess, is for us to approve a permit.
Yeah.
And again, overlooking the fact that, or ignoring the fact that we probably would advertise in a normal circumstance, but he's been there for a number of years. So.
I don't have any kind of permit.
Moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Councillor Lynch. Any further discussion? All in favour? Everybody? Down to reports. Mr. Town Manager.
Okay, so you'll remember that we were recently approved for some COVID stimulus funding that we had applied for, approximately $134,000 for the lighting of Ken Diamond Memorial Park. Generally, when we go out to get projects done, we would have a consultant at the front end develop a spec for us and an estimate and go through that process, which of course we would have to pay for. This was a little bit different. Government came out with available funding, and we had to turn around very quickly and get an application in, which we did. And that application was approved, and it was based on some quick estimating, dealing with the local contractor, giving us an idea of what we'd be looking at, and working within the $150,000 total that you could have applied for. So what I'm looking at doing now, so we have the money, but we don't have any spec or any plan as to what exactly we're putting out there with the type of lighting, numbers, that type of thing. So what I'm looking at doing is going out for a request for proposals. Basically, I would ask consultants and others to come forward with their plans. Somebody may come forward with a solar plan, somebody may come with an electric plan, and we consider the number of lights they have. So we would go out with the amount of money we have and basically say, what could you do for this funding? Come forward with your plans. We would then review the plans based on which one we like the most. We would go ahead and award. And again, it's a little bit backwards, but I guess based on the way that this rolled out, there wasn't a whole lot of choice in the matter. So I'd like to be able to get a motion to be able to go for a request for proposal for that.
Councillor Saunders, Deputy Mayor Saunders, you're promoting that, are you? Okay. Moving if we have a seconder, Councillor Arnold, our Deputy Mayor Saunders and Councillor Arnold. Moved and second that we will go out with those kinds of tender, with that kind of.
What do you go out to? Like
General.
Is it a tender or is it just for proposals?
Just
Sort of an open call, so anybody and anyone could apply to it. It would be an open call, and then they would submit. So we may get one person, 2 people, 20. It's yet to be seen.
Yeah, the difficult part, of course, is trying to decide who's got the best proposal. So that's something we'll have to sit down and find, put some kind of a criteria together, make sure you're judging fairly, right? And I guess it depends on what we really want. Any other discussion? Ready for the question? All in favor? Everybody?
Okay, secondly, some time ago, council decided that they wanted to advertise Glovertown as a drive-through community based on what we've heard from business owners and many others. So we came forward with a design the council decided on. I'm just going to, for the benefit around the people, it's a banner. What we got there? So 16 feet across the entire sign and just short of 2 feet high, and that would attach to the existing sign that we have up on the highway. So I just want to make sure before we go forward with it, we've gone out to get prices, and the low price on it is $684.25. So it's a rather expensive sign in the way signs go, but it is quite large and will be reflective with reflective backing and lettering being reflected as well. No, that would only be one, the one by Mackle's turn.
I'll move. Okay, moved by Councillor Paul. I'm the seconder.
I'll second.
Councillor Kelly.
Well worth it. We get to speak to the council down.
So then, we're gonna do 2 signs, are we not?
No, just
We're only doing the one.
Yeah, because the other sign is by the old farm,
Yeah.
and people are already past Eastport Junction by the time they see it, so.
Kind of backtrack.
Yeah.
True.
Unless we have one in the park, saying,
Yeah.
go ahead this way.
Even down that road, well, I haven't personally, but apparently we have down the road in National Park.
No, that's not an option, I don't think. Okay, so just one sign and it's 684, we've got motions and a seconder. No further discussion? All in favor? Okay.
Okay, and you'll recall some time ago, we've requested an out-of-service ambulance from Central Health, and we talked about, it was brought forward by the fire department, because they talked about how they could, and there's actually something in correspondence about that, so, do you want me to?
Carry on. You're halfway there now.
Well, yeah, so anyway, so we put in the request that if a out-of-service ambulance were to come forward, we'd be interested in it. We said we prefer to have something 4x4, obviously something in a good condition. So we had been successful with that. We've been sent a letter confirming that there's an ambulance there for us if we wish. We were selected. So I just want to give a little bit of a background on it. So it's a 2010 E350. There's 200,000+ kilometers on it. It's very well maintained. I spoke to an individual out in Central Hay. He's familiar with the vehicle. He says very good condition, because you have to remember these things are serviced much more than a private vehicle or even some commercial vehicles. So it's a 4x4. It's the one that we had looked for. So all that would be required for us is $1 to purchase, and we'd be responsible for a commercial inspection. So for a commercial inspection, that would include the inspection as well as removing all the stripes and stickers and everything off the ambulance that identifies it as an ambulance. So all told, you'd be looking at $400 for the commercial inspection and to remove the stickers. Anything other than that, if they were to have to replace something, that would be in addition to that. So the inspection, best case scenario, was $400 for that inspection, $400 plus any repairs they would deem necessary. So I don't know how council feels about that.
So this is the ambulance that would go down to Naples or Clover's Ridge or wherever, that area, is that what you're saying?
Potentially, yeah. They talked about, using that.
Where this ambulance can't access, they will use that one.
No, this is.
So who will maintain it, fire department?
It's the fire department, yeah.
Like what we use for an
Not
ambulance.
me.
We use that fire.
Fire truck, oh my God.
Like say for example, they gotta go off the main road, instead of dragging down some of our new equipment, they could have this vehicle where they have some pumps aboard, those types of things.
Oh, yeah, getting back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what we're saying, we're gonna expand now to include, fire protection somewhat
No,
to cabins.
no, you're jumping to a lot of
Well, what do we use it for then?
Well, it could be on the road into our water tank, right? It could be anywhere around the outskirts of Glovertown, where they can't get a fire truck in, right? And some of the, it doesn't have to be on a road to a cabin. It could be, but it doesn't have to be.
And again, this request came from the fire department. Yeah.
But this is not the decision of council either. Do you want a motion to spend the money, or are we assuming that that's
it's $1, but there's an associated cost with the inspection and everything else that will come after that, perhaps. So there's not an upfront cost, but there will be.
Inspection for our equipment. Do Gord do that?
No.
Gord,
We bring it down to Centerville, and all of our heavy equipment will go down there for inspection.
I knew that we purchased ambulance.
Second.
Moved and second, moved by Councillor Kelly, second by Councillor Lynch. Any further discussion? Ready for the question? All in favor? Everybody?
And finally, we had a proposal come into the council some time ago for a development within our municipal boundary. That individual, the proponent, has put an application into Crown Lands, and I've been speaking to the land planner, the land planning office, provincial land planning office, and they made me aware where it's currently deemed a future development area. In order for them to even consider to carry it forward, we would have to start the rezone for it to even be considered. So I propose that we change the future development area to tourism commercial, the most appropriate designation, at least how it looks now. We're going to meet with our land planner as well to confirm, but to at least get the wheels rolling on this. This doesn't by any means mean that it's approved, the project, the proposal, but it allows it to work through the system.
All right, I'll move the area currently designated future development area located on the Green Shore, Timberville, will be rezoned to tourism commercial.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? We had a discussion earlier this evening, of course, at a previous meeting. I assume there's no further discussion of that. All in favor? Everybody? Okay. That's it, Mr. Town Manager?
Yep.
Okay, Councillor Paul.
Just one thing, the Eagle Landing, the road around Eagle Landing there, pretty bad shape. I wonder if in public works they would have, maybe there's nothing to do, but it's almost impossible. Impassable.
How do you mean?
There's two houses out there, plus the, the senior place, right? His apartments. The road in bad shape.
Yeah.
The public works are going out, I don't think through those past acre or whatever, but it's in real bad shape.
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, we received a complaint on that actually, and Public Works did go down and back drag with the loader and actually took the edge off. It was good, but I was down there yesterday and I didn't notice it was.
Yeah, it's in bad shape.
So,
I didn't plan, but they have for
It's a bad
council, right?
It's a bad time. It's a bad winter for it now because we got no frost. Oh yes, no, I say that's the right problem. So the town manager will take it under consideration with Public Works. Anything else, sir?
That's it for me.
Councillor Lynch. Councillor Kelly.
Yes, we had a request from our maintenance people.
Public Works?
Public Works that we dug up out there yesterday. That it was almost impossible for them to do it without a trencher. Had to get another excavator in order to do it, so trench box there. So they're requesting that we get a trench box. Because they're getting run into a lot of problems now with brakes on the road and that. So anyway, this is not going to be cheap, but $24,000.
Okay,
How long's got 2 or 3? Could we rent maybe?
town manager.
So let's rewind to last year. During last year's budget process, we budgeted for trench box based on the request and apparent need. And it was budgeted and approved through council. When I brought it back to Public Works, I wanted to work with them to try to get a trench box because all trench boxes aren't equal and some are different for. If you're doing a water pipe in a new subdivision, you're just dragging that along and you're using it. It's very simple. But when you're talking about digging up in different trains and different areas, and anyways, it's a much different beast. So I spoke to Public Works, I spoke to our operator, I spoke to our supervisor, and said let's come to an agreement on what would work best for us. And it was agreed at that time that they wouldn't, but they wouldn't, this is the more important part, that they would not enter a hole where a trench box is required. If a trench box was required, they would get either a third-party contractor to come in and do the job, or we would rent it. And I made it clear at that time that at no point should anybody be going down in a hole that they don't feel comfortable with. And I also made it clear when I had a conversation with the Public Works supervisor today that it's his responsibility to determine whether someone's willing to go down there is irrelevant. But if the hole is unsafe, the supervisor on the job needs to make sure that nobody enters that hole. So I'll continue. I'll follow up with the conversation. But again, we had it approved in the last budget, but to try to get one of the people that spoke to our operator said you'll get one that may be good for 10% of the jobs. The next job we get is no good for that. And here you got to be dragging it from site to site on a flatbed if it's a stationary one. And they're quite expensive, so it's not a fact of not wanting to get it, but trying to get something that would be usable and not laid up there and rusting out at the yard.
The conversation this afternoon, of course, and I understand, I remember all of what you just said, but the conversation this afternoon was that they have, as I understood, they have identified one that they think would work. They're looking at somewhere around $25,000. So maybe what we should do is put it back to the town manager and let. Now the other problem, of course, is funding.
Right.
And I don't know where we
We
find.
have an accident.
Yeah, exactly.
If we have an accident with him in the hole, I'm going to tell you we're going to pay an awful price.
I
Mr.
agree.
Mayor, if I may, ECS has got 2, if not 3 down there. And could we look at the possibility of probably renting from that when we need them?
We
Probably
got-
cheaper than buying $45,000 for one.
Yeah, I spoke to Public Works to that, and neither would be suitable for our jobs. That's the thing. All trench boxes aren't created equal. They're all very different. So
This is municipal trench box.
yeah, we had talked about that one before. So it wasn't any good last year. but again, I'm happy to work with Public Works, but I want to be clear for anybody around the table listening that, again, it was reiterated to Public Works that at no point should they ever enter into an unsafe area, and there's no requirement, and if they were to call down and say, this is a problem, I would immediately say, stop the job, and get a contractor on site who has the ability to do it, or we go ahead and rent a box, and that's, at no point should they have to be getting down, so, and that was made very clear today, so. So I'm happy to work with Public Works.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can work that out. And I don't know, I'm sure the town clerk can work, or Nancy can find the money for us.
Yes.
We lost a man in the tow truck like that.
It's a serious concern, there's no doubt about that.
Well, workplace and all regulations have to be adhered to, so if they can't secure a site, as a town manager is, they're well aware of what the requirements are.
They go in and say, okay, look, this is without them, but construction company here, they could be all out. Could be in the summertime, they could be all out on job.
Well, I think if it's $25,000, I know it sounds like a fair chunk of money, but if it's $25,000 in the safety of our people, and we got this item on site, that they can pick it up and use it around town wherever they want it, I think that would be far better than having to go look for one or rent one on the spur of the moment where they.
And that's why it was approved last year, based on that.
I know, I
Yeah.
remember all those conversations, exactly. I mean, we did talk about that, and, I was under the impression that there was nothing that we could get done with it. Anyway, we'll leave it now. Next council meeting.
I'll make a notation in a minute.
Yes, please.
Speak with. And we'll discuss the budgeting issues at a later.
Yeah, right. Councillor Arnold. Deputy Mayor. And I have nothing. So we'll move then to correspondence. And the first item is a letter from Transportation, Department of Tourism, Culture and Recreation. And this is in response to a request from our Economic Development Officer, Recreation Director, for funding for his bike program. And that she's received $5,000 approved for her community bike program. So that's for information purposes. The next item is the minutes from RCMP Joint Council meeting, began the district at the Glovertown Detachment, and this was one attended by Councillor Lynch, and it's again for your information, but I'll just point out to you in number 5, there are plans in the works for the new detachment building for the Glovertown RCMP that will take place likely within the next 5 years. The new build is dependent on the Department of Capital Projects funding that is available for new RCMP buildings. A lot of other good information there, but I really want you to see that, and thank Councillor Lynch for attending on our behalf. The next item is the letter from Environment, Climate Change and Municipalities, and this is the COVID stimulus funds, and this is for information purposes as well. It's the money, of course, that our manager just referenced a minute ago about the lighting and all that came down in town. So that's just a reference that we don't need. We need to accept the funding.
We've already accepted.
We've already
I guess we probably could have a motion to sign the agreement.
Yeah.
I don't believe
No.
that was actually in our motion.
No, I thought it was.
Okay.
So a motion to sign the agreement, Deputy Mayor Saunders and Councillor Lynch, I think has seconded that motion to approve that funding and to accept the project money. All in favor? Everybody, including Councillor Kelly, I guess. The next item is a letter from Turnover Trail Riders. This is in reference to widening and grooming an existing trail, and it's asking permission to widen and groom an existing trail from Campbell Place to Future Street Trail, reducing the Future Street snowmobile traffic. I'm reading right in the middle of the paragraph there. I think this is something probably, I don't see much wrong with it, but I think it's something that probably we should let the Public Works. Yeah, sure.
I'll talk to Alex here and some more guys on the committee. what I'm gonna do, actually, Lauren is giving them permission to go through his land to Future Street, when you come off the trail there by our depot. And then when they get to Campbell Place, instead of going, the groomer go up Campbell Place and onto Future Street, or they want to go up around, which would be maybe, I don't know, there's not that many trees here, the rest of it, mostly alders, but they just wanna put a place here, so that the groomer can go on up around. So you can, technically, you can leave, Mackles to come down and go through there, go on, make the loop train sort of thing, and it's gonna take a lot of traffic off of, because, when that's traveling on a pavement, I mean, that machine's not good traveling on pavement, you know. So these are all volunteer work, no cost to the town, it's gonna be all but the only thing is, I told them, I said, chances are, if the town approved it, it would be understanding that the town needs the land, that's right, they'll take it back. But until the town needs it, we can probably use it for that purpose, is that okay, or is that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be what we would assume.
Yes.
To say, the only problem is, like you say, is that it's in a development area, and so I think we'll have the Public Works Committee, Mr. Chair, and just to see, I can't visualize exactly where it's going. I understand from Council Hall what they got in mind, but I think it's.
You have to see it,
Yeah, I know, maybe we can have a look at that when we meet again.
it's gonna be pretty quick, because right now the weather, of course, is good, and they can do it.
Yeah.
Get 6 feet of snow, and then you're not gonna.
No, you want to be in there. That's right. Good point. Okay, next item then is the RCP monthly policy report. Policing report, I think it is. Not policy report, but it's policing report, which is there for your information. The next item is the one that the town manager referenced a minute ago. It's the information related to the ambulance. It's got the serial number and all of that. I'm sure you'll want to keep it in the back of your mind. We thank them for doing that for now. The next item is an email from Alicia Legg, and this is in reference to the Epilepsy Society, Foundation Society. They're saying that March the 26th, fast approaching, counting down to the important date for international awareness of epilepsy. I was wondering if you would be interested in lighting up the town hall purple for epilepsy awareness this March 26th this year, and reading a proclamation for us. I'm not sure lighting the town hall is possible, but
The town center, the lights that are there, would they change colors? You notice at Christmas time we had one red and one green. There is purple.
there is purple.
How purple it is or how bright it will be, I'm not sure, but we do have the ability to turn it on for purple for that evening if you want.
And we certainly can do the proclamation. We need a motion for that?
Yeah, we do for the
Okay, moved by Councillor Hall, second by Councillor Lynch. All in favour? Proclamation. Thank you. An email from Megan Frost, the Diamond House. They have a new employee at the house who's working there, I guess, in part-time for our purposes. He's not always at the house, I guess, is the point. It says, we want to let you know we have a new staff person at the Diamond House from January to April this year. Luke Quinlan, Clarenville, is a Bachelor of Commerce student from Munn. He's going to help create free art instruction videos for the local community. So they're asking or expecting local businesses to advertise. So that's for your information. The next item is from Glovertown Academy. And it's a thank you for the contribution to our scholarships, their scholarships and award presentation that they held on December the 14th, with the note as well that, of course, they'll be looking for more funding on November. The last item is on 2000, you see it on your list at number K at the bottom. 2019 financial statement from Derek and Rod. You saw the copy that we circulated before. That was a draft. We now have the official copy with no changes, so I would like to have a motion to accept that financial statement. Councillor Arnold, Deputy Mayor Saunders, any further discussion on that? This is our financial statement from the auditors, of course, which indicates, as you saw before, that everything is in good standing. And it's just to make that official. All in favor? Everybody? Motion to accept the check register. Councilor Lynch. Councilor Arnold. All in favor? No exemptions. Motion to adjourn. Second by Councilor Lynch. Thank you both.